What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Cool Mods for Skyrim Special Edition. It has been quite a while since we have posted this series. Really, Skyrim content in general has been relatively sparse lately. This is not because of some hatred for Skyrim like some of you have suggested, but rather just because not a lot of mods have been coming out as of late. That's okay though, because today we are going to show you 5 cool mods, or at least what I think are some pretty cool mods and definitely worth a download. I think a large part of the mods not being as plentiful is Winter Break having an almost inverse effect. Everyone was kind of cramming and pushing to get their mods ported over to Skyrim SE after its initial release to kind of reach the masses, because that's when the most people are going to be playing. The Winter Break gave them a little bit of time off, and it made them not want to do anything or just relax and play video games, not work on their mods necessarily. Regardless, if you guys do enjoy the series, I really encourage you to consider subscribing. If you do want to help out the video, the one way you could do that due to YouTube's new algorithm is by leaving a like or a comment. It's just the best way to promote videos now. With all that being said though, let's just jump right into it. So the first mod I do want to show you guys is going to be Eimar's Edge. This is a mod ported over to Skyrim SE. The mod author did give him permission to port it, and thus now we have it. What it's basically going to add in is a singular sword mod that does look very cool. It has a pretty interesting kind of hilt and sheath for it. Basically, it's going to have kind of gemstones on it. It looks like there's some kind of blue or purple color, and all around I actually think the sword is extremely high quality, especially when you're using it and slashing down different enemies. It has the same stats as a regular ebony sword, although you can upgrade it if you do so desire. And all around, again, it's a relatively simple mod, but I actually really like installing a ton of these different singular sword mods, because then once you start playing through the game, you're going to find them at different times and you really get to experience them in different ways. In my eyes, that way it creates a more organic experience, and a lot of these individualized sword mods can be added together to create almost a artificial weapon pack that you made yourself, and again, that's going to enhance your game. So next up, we have Cinematic Fire Effects 2. This is a mod that's basically going to change the way fire looks in Skyrim. So that ranging from actual like standalone fire pits to some of the cooking stations to, of course, magic. This is going to be a pretty noticeable improvement over the vanilla fire effects. We actually have a mod very similar to this that kind of does the same thing for some of the static effects in the game. Flat out, it does just make the fire look a little bit better. It's a little bit higher quality, which is kind of a weird thing to say considering it's, you know, a dynamic thing. It's not staying the same, but you definitely do notice an improvement. Even when you're using the fire just through some of the different magic, you actually notice a little bit of a glow now. So when you're holding it in your hands or just have it equipped, it's definitely going to create a little bit more of an ambience and glow around it, which is a pretty cool effect to see. All around, this mod is definitely going to be a pretty substantial improvement over the vanilla fire. It's a good mod to just put in your load order, forget you have it on, and then make the game look a little bit better. So next up, we have the Berserk Judayu armor. So this is going to be a brand new armor mod from the Berserk series. One of my favorite armors for Skyrim right now is the Berserk Guts armor. Well, this armor might be taking that spot. It looks very good and it has a lot of detail to it. There's a number of different options for different gauntlets and boots and stuff like that you can customize, as well as a few different capes if you do want to go that route. All around, again, the armor itself does look very high quality. You can see you have all those throwing knives on it, as well as kind of one bigger knife around the back, and it just really looks really sharp in game and on your character. I did just start using an EMB, so that could be part of it, but I really did find on some of the close-ups of this armor, I was pretty shocked and even a little bit surprised by how high quality this armor actually is. All around, it's a very high quality armor mod. Again, as I said like 4 times now, I would definitely recommend downloading it, especially if you do like the way it looks. This is without a doubt something you're going to be seeing more and more of in my videos going forward, because again, I definitely think this has a permanent place in my load order. So next up, we have visual animated enchants. So what this is going to do is add a kind of visual animation to some of the different enchanted weapons, armors, and bows in Skyrim. So there's a number of different enchantments tackled by this. It's actually a relatively simple mod. I know the mod author that did take it over does want to expand it in the future, but basically, as you can see, as I'm taking out some of these different bows, you do have that kind of visual thing going on. It's a lot more than the previous version where it was kind of a lot simpler and it kind of stayed on the bow. Now it's actually like a 3D dynamic thing that pops out of the weapon you are using. And of course, the color is going to be representative of whatever it is. So if it's a fire enchantment, it's going to be a fire color. If it's going to be an ice or poison or whatever, it'll just be different colors. All around, I really like the concept of this mod and even its execution right now. I think it looks very cool, and one like kind of added bonus is it actually works on enemies as well, which is kind of cool to see because you could instantly know what kind of enchantment or what kind of damage they'll be doing to you, and then you could take preventative steps accordingly. It's a relatively simple visual improvement, but if you do find yourself using enchanted weapons very often like I do, and especially in the later stages of the game, it's definitely going to be something you notice quite often. I'm very excited to see where this mod author is going to go in the future, because I think this mod has a lot of potential, and even if you add a little bit more customization to some of these different effects, I think it could be very cool. So last but certainly not least, we have Redesigned Lydia, which is really the Redesigned Follower mod as a whole. More or less what this is going to do is change Lydia and her appearance, her body style, and all around just make her a much higher quality companion. Again, all these are going to be aesthetic changes, so there's nothing on a fundamental level or she's not going to act any differently, although there are mods that change that, and I've covered them in the past. Regardless, as you can see, with this mod installed, Lydia is going to look much nicer. This is actually going to be part of the bigger mod, Redesigned Followers. It seems like only the Lydia version was ported, although at the time of recording this, the new version has just come out. That does cover all the different followers. Regardless, it's going to more or less be the same concept. It's just all these followers are going to have much nicer looking faces. This is all done in vanilla. I'm not installing any other kind of aesthetic mods. And I gotta say, at least personally, I found this to be a very large improvement. The old Lydia, especially if you played Skyrim through a few times, does get very old. So one, it's a nice refresh because again, it looks a little bit different on my new playthrough, as well as two, it just looks a lot better than the old version, at least in my eyes. Although I think a lot of people will agree with that based on just how many downloads this mod has already. That's pretty much going to be it for this episode of Skyrim Special Edition 5 Cool Mods. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed as always. If you did watch through this point in the video, let me know by commenting mug down below. It's been a while for Skyrim. I do want to start covering content and have a few unique series for Skyrim though coming in the future, so look forward to that. Regardless, as always, thank you guys for watching, and I do hope to see you all next time. Later.